Namaste, namaste, and welcome to this Monday midday chair yoga. And today we're going to use some more unusual bits of equipment than we normally use. So I have here a stretchy band, which offers a little bit of resistance. So if you have one of these to hand, it would be best for this practice. They're very inexpensive to purchase. They can be found online or in the stores. And I'm just going to pop that one behind my body. They usually come in packs of 4. So they come with light, medium, heavy, and extra heavy resistance. We're going to use light or medium today. That's your choice. And if you want to use the ones with handles that are a tube, then they are just as good as these ones. Some people find them even better. The other thing we're going to use is our squashy balls. So everybody who regularly attends this class already has one of these, and we are going to use our squashy balls today. So just popping your equipment to one side and placing the feet on the floor, making sure that you are at the front of your seat so you can sit nice and tall. We're resting the hands wherever they're comfortable, simply closing the eyes or gazing downward and making this conscious moment to step away from everything else that goes on around you in your life into your time and space for yoga. As you make that mental step away, perhaps you can feel an easing of the weight on your shoulders or a softening of the frown across your forehead. Take note of how you feel in this moment, the areas of the body that have a little stiffness or tension or discomfort. Remember to work compassionately with these areas throughout. Notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, spacious, and at ease. Allow that sense of ease to ripple out from wherever it's centered, creating a wider sense of peacefulness and ease in the body. Bring your awareness to your breath, observing first your natural, spontaneous breath. And then gently deepening your breath when you feel ready to do so. Feel each breath in, lift the body tall, and allow each breath out to be a slow, steady exhalation, engaging your belly muscles towards the end of that exhale to breathe out completely. Soft belly to breathe deeply into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. A long, slow breath out, gently engaging across the navel to exhale fully. Soft belly to breathe into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. And a long, slow, steady breath out. Keep breathing in this way. Filling the body with prana, charging us with energy for our practice. This kind of deep breathing is also really good for our metabolism. It helps stoke our internal fire so we're ready for anything. At the end of your next exhalation, allow your breath to fall into its natural rhythm and gently draw your chin towards your chest. Feel that sense of length without forcing the head down, just feeling the space open across the back of the neck, the shoulders, the shoulder blades. And then gently raising your head back to an upright position and opening your eyes if they've been closed. We're going to roll the shoulders a little. Oh, it's nice to get a bit of movement after having some stillness, which is great also for our practice. So we're going to begin our practice with focusing on the neck and shoulders. So lengthening through the crown of the head, making sure that your head is not protruding forward, but is centered over the rest of the body. And we're gently going to turn to look over one shoulder and then return to center and then turn to look over the opposite shoulder. And we're going gently from side to side. You don't have to go as far as your body is able to go. We're just beginning to explore this movement. You might find one side is better than the other, or freer than the other, or feels easier than the other. And once you've done about 3 to each side, you can begin to find your way perhaps into a little bit more of a turn if that is available to you. And we'll do one more to each side. Keeping the head centered and lifted. And then relaxing for a moment, we're going to roll the shoulders a few times, maybe making some wider circles with the elbows. So going from that shoulder roll to more of an open circling motion. Resting the hands when you're ready, re-establishing that lift and openness in the throat as well, and then taking one ear towards the shoulder and back to center, and the opposite ear to shoulder and back to center. But gently going from side to side. Just exploring our range of movements, feeling our way. We don't want to press through resistance in the body, but for the next 2, maybe just lengthening a little further to your side if that's available. Usually when we move, we create a little bit more space every time until we reach our limit. When you're ready, coming back to center, and again, starting with some shoulder rolls and turning those into some bigger circles with the elbows. And you can allow the rest of your body to respond, your head and chest as well. And then resting the arms down again. We're going to re-establish that upward lift and draw the chin towards the chest once more. And hopefully this will feel easier than it did as we began. And then gently smiling, roll the head to center, bottom teeth over top teeth, and take the chin up, but not back. And slowly back to center, relax the jaw, chin to chest, just one more time. And then coming back to center, bottom teeth over top teeth, chin lifted forward and up. And back to center. Relax your jaw, give your shoulders a little wriggling roll from side to side. And we're going to do a little something for our feet while we're here. So let me just turn my chair slightly sideways so it's easier to see. Let's sit all the way back into the seat and begin with the legs extended and just rolling the ankles. So you don't need to lift your legs so high, you can have them down as long as the feet aren't touching the floor. But the higher your legs are, the more effort you make in these muscles at the tops of the thighs. Let's roll the other way as well. So the more challenging it becomes. And so do the level that suits you in this moment. If you're having a day when you're feeling tired, have your feet a little bit lower down. That'd be perfect. Very good. And then we're just gently going to extend one leg and then the other. We're doing this flexing the feet to begin with. So drawing the toes back towards the body. And then we're going to press our backs against the chair and do this with our toes pointing away from us as well. So we get that nice length across the front of the foot and the top of the ankle. Very good. And then we can bring both feet down to the floor. Just bring yourself forward a little bit. And then we're going to use a little bit of body resistance. So coming up onto the balls of the feet and then heels down. Just going gently up and down. We'll just do 3 more like this, beginning to activate those muscles with a little bit of weight in the back of the calves. And then we do the same thing. Might need to give ourselves a little bit of space. So feet just slightly further away from the seat, lifting the toes and lowering the toes down. And you feel the muscles here in the front of the legs, just either side of the shin switching on. Maybe the one, yeah, absolutely, either side of the shin. Let's do 1 more like this. And then we're going to do a little bit of both. So we lift one toe and the opposite heel and go to the opposite side. So we're alternating sides, lifting one set of toes and the opposite heel. Very good. It sometimes takes a little while to coordinate this. Most people get the heel but forget to lift the toes. It's not a problem. If you end up just doing alternate heel raises, that's fine too. And with more practice, you'll get used to doing it like this. Very good. And then floating both feet down to the floor, we're going to roll the inner side of the foot towards each other, so the big toe joint towards the floor, and then roll the little toe joint towards the floor. And this creates a little sort of twist across the feet. And what we want to try to do, so you can do this by moving your knees in and out so that your weight comes to the outside edge and to the inside edge, outside edge, inside edge. But then we want to plant the knees over the ankles and try to do it with just the feet. So the knees are no longer moving, or they are quite still, not maybe absolutely still, but quite still. We get this movement through the feet. And then resting. So that particular variation is quite challenging if you're not used to moving your foot in that way, but it's really good to keep the foot mobile and the ankle mobile as well. We're going to sit back in our chairs 1 more time and give our legs a little swing. This time, we're not worried about where we get to. We can swing a little bit side to side. We can even make some circles. I might be in danger of kicking my ball, so I'm going to move it out of the way. And then we can circle the ankles a few times just to release any effort from there. Aces. So come to sitting forward in your seat, and because we've got our balls handy, we're just going to pop them between our knees and then bringing your fingertips to your shoulders, bringing the elbows towards each other and up in front and drawing the elbows back and down. So we're moving in more focused circles of the arms now. Try really hard not to counterpose with your head, so don't drop your head down. Keep the head nice and lifted. We'll go the opposite way as well, opening the chest as the elbows come back and then drawing the elbows towards each other in front of the body. Lovely. Oh, it feels so good to move the body in this way. We're going to finish with the elbows nice and high and just do a gentle twist from side to side. Very good. And then in the center, a gentle side bend to each side. Very nice. 1 more to each side. And then in the center, we're going to reach the arms wide, bring the palms together and round through the spine, tucking the chin towards the chest, and then arms open wide, taking the elbows and hands behind the body if you can, to open the chest looking up. So rounding through the spine, and then an opening of the front of the body. We want to create length in the back of the body, really rounding as much as feels good, and then opening to bend the back in the opposite way. And find space in the front of the body as the arms go back. Let's do 1 more. And then sitting upright, floating your arms down to your side, just giving yourself a little wriggle, 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 wriggle. Lovely. Very nice. Super. So we're going to take our balls just to one side. Oh, actually, that's not true. We can keep the balls between the knees Because it helps to keep the low body active. So we can do a gentle squeeze on the balls as we make motions with the rest of the body. So we're going to start with our stretchy bands. We need to sort of practice what we're doing because it's our first time working with stretchy bands here. So we're going to have the arms about as wide as the chair, either side of the body, and then pressing the feet into the floor so that we sit really tall and firming the belly muscles. We're raising the arms in front of the body to about chest height and then lowering down. We want to keep our band taut. So we don't want to raise the arms and have the belt of the band. It's going to take me a while. Get a little bit floppy. We want to just gently go up and down. So we keep the rest of the posture really good. The legs a little bit active, squeezing the ball. And there's just that most gentle of activations through the arms to keep the band tight, but we don't have to pull really, really hard here. Super. Let's go up a little bit higher. So if your shoulders allow, you can come up a little bit higher still. And if you struggle to get the arms higher than that, give yourself a bit more space. Open the arms a little bit wider on the band. Lovely job. Let's come up as high as feels comfortable. And all the way down. Rest your arms down to your sides, relax your hands from the belt, just give the wrists a little roll. If we're doing things where we grip, sometimes we can put a little tension in the hands, so just making some nice releasing motions through the hands, a wiggle of the fingers, a wriggle of the shoulders as well. Aces. So we're going to turn, so when we did this practice, we had the palms turned downwards, that's most common. We're going to turn the palms upwards. So now we've got the arms in a slightly different position. Again, pressing the feet into the floor, a gentle squeeze on the ball, gentle pull of the band apart, and we're lifting the arms up to about chest height and then lowering down. Same thing. So we're going a little bit higher if we can. As we go up and down, trying to keep the arms long. They don't need to be rigidly straight. A little softness across the elbows really helps. And this can be a range of movement that's very much smaller. So don't worry if you are not coming up very high. Again, giving yourself a little bit wider space if you need to. Coming up as high as feels comfortable. And then down again. Super. Relax your hands from the belt. Maybe give the wrists a little shake. We do a gentle lift and lower as we do a little side bend here. Nice. And then a roll of the shoulders and making sure to move your head in any way that helps to release your neck if you find any tension there. Very good. So we're coming back to the first orientation of our hands, just with the palms facing downwards. Sitting tall, a gentle squeeze on the ball and pressing the feet into the floor. And we're lifting the arms to about chest height. And then we're gently going to pull them a little bit apart and let them come slowly back together. So it's just a little bit apart and slowly back together. And we'll do 3 more, pulling gently apart and back together, making sure the head is lifted, gently apart, back together. Last one, gently apart and back together. Gently releasing the arms down to the sides. Make any motions that feel good with the arms or the neck or the wrists or the shoulders. And then we'll turn our palms upwards, holding onto our band, and do the same thing. Squeeze the ball gently, feet into the floor, belly muscles working, lift up to chest height, and then pull gently apart and release slowly back together. Pull gently apart and slowly back together. Just feeling what goes on in the body, what actions, muscles are working. And we'll do 1 more, pulling apart and back together, and release the arms down, wriggling the shoulders, shaking out the hands if you need to. Aces. So we're going to keep our feet in place but we'll put our belt underneath where the feet are, band rather, underneath where the feet are, so that we can hold the band in both hands. Now, some people might like to wrap the band around their hands so they feel a little bit more secure. We've got the palms facing upwards and the elbows are really tight to the body. We're going to let the arms be long and straight and keeping the elbows close to the body, pressing into the feet. We're going to draw the hands towards the shoulders. So really nice and slowly up and down. And it's the slowness that provides us with the real strength and stability as we make these motions and our muscles work just a little bit harder than we're able to without the resistance of the band. Let's do two more. Elbows are close to the body is lifted, we're sitting tall. And one more, nice and slow, up and down. Very nice. Aces. So now we've done that, we're going to take the belt around the back of the body. And I keep calling it a belt, but it is a band. So we want to wrap it around the body and have it around about our bra straps, there or thereabouts. And we can, again, here we want to hold the belt so it's taut when we've got our arms in front of us as if we were holding a tray. Elbows are bent and they're close to the body and palms are turned upwards. And we're going to lengthen the arms away from us and then draw those elbows back towards us. And as we lengthen the arms away, we want to keep the arms as close together as they were when the elbows were bent. So we don't want to lengthen out to the sides, but we'll do that in a minute. Lengthen arms away and back together, back towards us rather, and we'll do two more. Lengthen and release. Palms are turned upwards for this one and release. And then we're going to turn the palms down and we're going to go slightly out to the side. So here we're lengthening out away from the body and then drawing close towards. Lengthening out away, pressing through those arms. And we want to be controlled with the movement out and controlled with the movement back for two more. Pressing out and back to center. Pressing out and back to center. Here, it's probably a good idea to have a little rest. So just wrap your band around you, give yourself a little wriggle through the shoulders, maybe a roll through the wrists or a wriggle through the fingers. If you need to, a little movement through your neck as well. So we have two more of these practices with the band. We're going to take the band back to where it was around the back of around the upper back, and with the elbows in front. Sorry, the elbows at the sides. And here we want to provide just a little bit more resistance by creating a smaller amount of belt around the body. So we want to feel like we're having to press the arms slightly away to hold the belt in this position and sit upright. And we're going to open the arms, but keep the elbows bent. So we're just as if we were going ta-da, and then back to the center. Like a book opening, elbows stay close to the body. We're nice and slow and steady for two more. Very nice. And last one. And then we're going to release the belt, release the arms down. Just give yourself a gentle wiggle. And then our final action is behind the body. So we're going to have the band in the right hand at the right hip. So we anchor the band here. We can anchor it slightly in front if you like. And then the band in the left hand has come up the back of the body. So it's on the left shoulder. So behind the body, it is in this diagonal shape. We're gently squeezing the ball and pressing the feet down. And we are going to lift our left elbow up and then lift the band as we straighten the arm straight up if possible. And then allow that band to draw us back down with the elbow lifted and the hand by the left ear. So the right arm anchors the band as we press up and then gently release down. And we can do 3 more, pressing up and down. We want to try to keep that elbow quite high and also not wavering out to the side. So not out to the side, but in front of the body. One last motion, up and down. And then we're going to relax that arm. We can swap the belt around so that we have the left hand, anchoring the band at the left hip, maybe slightly in front of the hip or at the bottom of the hip. And then with the right arm, we've got the elbow lifted. And then we're pressing the right arm straight up and then bringing that, allowing the band to bring us back down so that the right hand is by the right ear, elbow lifted. Pressing up and gently releasing down. We'll do 3 more. Pressing up, gently releasing. Nice and slow and steady in your movements. Sitting really tall. Last one. Very good. Relaxing the arms, giving the shoulders a little bit of a wriggle. And we can take our bands and just place them here across the legs for now. We'll do one more thing that is not related to being stretchy in the band, but allows us to move nicely. So we have the ball, we're squeezing it gently, feet are on the floor. We're going to take our band so that our arms can be really wide if you want. They can be as close together as you like, but really wide if you want. And then sitting tall, we're going to reach the arms up to wherever they get to, and then just do a gentle sway from side to side. Now here you might, if you want to do something a bit more, you can keep your left arm up and try and draw your right arm down and make this sort of sideways motion to begin with. Or if you prefer, if your arms are quite tired, if you've done quite a lot already, then you might like to just simply sway from side to side. And we're going to do both, so those who are just pulling one arm down and then the other can begin to sway both arms side to side. And then we're going to do a little twist here. So we're reaching up first, and then we're going to bring both arms down on the right side of the body, keeping a little bit of tautness on that band, and then come back up to the center and take both arms down on the left side of the body. So the torso remains nice and upright. We're lifting the chest and lowering the arms. Little press into the feet, into the floor with the feet. Little squeeze of that ball between the knees. Let's do one more to each side. Very nice. Reaching up and over. Very good. Returning to center, releasing the arms down in front of you. And now we can definitely put the bands to one side. We can give our shoulders a little wriggle, maybe a swing of the arms or a shrug of the shoulders, whichever feels good to you. You might like to do a little bit of wrist rolling. You can do this with your arms as well, of course. And then finally, take the thumbs into the palms, wrap the other fingers around, and make any sort of wrist circles that feel good. We can go in the opposite direction as well. Aces. And then just shake out the arms. So here we've had the ball between the knees for a little while, so we can do a beginning movement of taking one knee forward and the other knee back. So we get this twisting motion through the hips, which should be quite nice for our hips that have done a lot of work. And then we're going to leave the ball in place and do our hovering sits. So make sure you've got enough of your body weight on the chair that it feels really secure. We're going to gently squeeze the ball, firm the belly, and then reach forward just to hover the buttocks away from the seat for a moment, and then gracefully sit back down again. We'll do 4 more like this. Reaching forward and sitting gently down. Taking the weight onto the feet briefly, and sitting gently down. 2 more like that. Using the arms just for a little help to give us some momentum. Super. And then from here, we're going to come up to standing. So we're going to reach forward and hover, and then stand all the way tall, opening the front of the body, and then come back the way, stretching the buttocks back as we reach the hands forward to sit lightly down. So reaching forward to hover, and then standing all the way tall, opening the front of the body, lengthening the legs, maybe the hips come gently forward, and then hips go back as we reach the hands forward, and we bend at the knees to sit gently down. We'll do 2 more, reaching forward, standing all the way tall, and then reaching forward to reach the tailbone back to sit gently down. And then last time, reaching forward, standing all the way tall, and then reaching forward, bending at the knees to sit all the way down. This time, we're going to stand up and stay standing up. So reaching forward, standing all the way tall, and floating the arms down to the sides. Here, you might like to take that ball out from between the knees and just stand for a moment without having to squeeze anything, and just wriggle through the shoulders, maybe do a bit of dancing shoulders, dancing hips. Very nice. And you can also free your feet from the floor. They should feel really grounded after our practice because we had the feet very focused and firm on the floor. So hopefully that feels good. I'm just popping my chair to one side. And then we are going to do Kinti Chakrasana. So softened in the knees and a gentle twist of the hip, twist of the torso from side to side. Maybe letting the arms wrap around the body and tap wherever they fall. You can press into the feet if it feels good, or you can free your feet and pivot as you go from side to side. And that sometimes feels quite nice. The belly muscles are creating a strong center. The crown of the head is lifted. Try not to bend forward, but stand tall. And if you wish to, you can add a light bend in the knees, just a little bounce and twist. You might like to touch the opposite shoulder in front of you, and the opposite hip or rib cage behind you. My sticky mat sounds very sticky when I do this. And then when you're ready, you can let the bounce go, simply pivot for a moment, and then bring your feet to steadiness and sway back to center. And as you come to center, stand all the way tall, take a moment to spin the palms of the hands forward, drop the fingertips down and lengthen through the crown of the head. Maybe gaze gently downward or close the eyes and become aware of your practice so far, the effects that it's having on the body. Maybe scanning the body for those areas of stiffness or tension or discomfort, seeing how they're feeling now. And maybe they feel great and maybe they don't feel great. It's okay. Whatever you feel is fine. Fantastic stuff. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your palms together at the center of the chest. Take your chin gently down. Give yourself a soft smile. And then in your own time, raising your head, releasing the arms, opening the eyes, giving yourself another set of dancing shoulders, dancing hips. So I would like us to do some hip movements. We're going to do them first, just freestyle, just on their own, and then we're going to do them with the ball as well and see what the difference is. So here we're standing, using the chair for a bit of support, and we're just going to use the left leg first. So we're standing on the right leg, left leg first. We can take the toes to the floor and then just freeing that foot from the floor so we can make some circles with our knees. Now the right leg, the standing leg, just a touch of softness. We're going to try and keep the torso lifted. You can use your other arm for support if you would like to, out to the side. And then when you're ready, going in the opposite direction. You can make your circles as big as you like, but start small and work towards it. Very good. When you're ready, you can put both feet on the floor and just feel the difference between the two sides of the body. Now, instead of moving my chair, I'm just going to step to this bit of wall to do the second side. So we're feeling the difference between the two sides of the body, taking the weight onto the left foot, using a support of some kind, right toe tips to the floor, and then right foot lifted, and just starting with some little circles. We're creating lift in the body, so we're standing tall, and that left knee is just a little soft, so it's not locked all the way straight. You might get a little larger with your circles, you might not. When you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction. Just exploring. So this direction on this hip is much less comfortable than the other three variations. So just taking your time. If something is clicky or uncomfortable, go slower, go smaller. And then step onto both feet. Take the opportunity to just feel the difference between the two sides of the body. And then we'll do a chair-based downward dog. So we're placing the hands on the seat and walking the feet away, keeping the knees nice and bent, and just lengthening the tailbone back behind us. That's similar action to when we were standing up and sitting down, of releasing the tailbone backwards. Here with the knees bent, you might like to sway the hips from side to side, or you might like to simply rest in the center, pressing the hands into the seat. Taking a few deeper breaths. Really feeling the space here underneath the arms and across the whole of the rib cage that gives us real room to breathe deeply. And then when you're ready, you can gently press into the seat to walk yourself all the way forward, coming to an upright position again. So let us take our balls and we are going to secure them between the calf and the thigh by putting them at the back of the knee and just closing the knee like that. And they'll stay there because they're quite sticky, and they do a good job of just exactly this. So here we can begin with just a forward and backward motion, standing tall, the right leg just a little bit soft, the body lifted, and then if you wish to, a circling motion. So we don't want to get cramp. So we want to do enough that feels good, but we don't want to get cramp, particularly in the back of the left thigh, going in the opposite direction when you're ready. You just need to use a touch of effort to keep the ball in place. One more, and then stepping onto both feet, holding onto the ball, just feeling the difference between the two sides of the body. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm obviously going to step towards the wall to do that. So just placing that ball at the back of the knee, standing tall, left standing leg slightly soft as we go forwards and backwards to begin with, just feeling our way here. And once we've got the idea of keeping the ball in place, then you can make some circles with that right knee. I'm going to have to move my ball ever so slightly out to the side. Very good. And when you've gone a few in that direction, you can go in the other direction as well, standing tall, using your core muscles. And we'll do one more. Very nice. Release the ball, and hopefully you can feel the difference between the two sides of the body and between this practice and the previous practice. We'll do our stretch in downward facing dog. So releasing the feet backwards, thinking about lengthening the tailbone back as the fingertips go forwards, creating that length across the spine, keeping the belly muscles engaged as we perhaps sway the hips from side to side. For those of you with a ladder chair like mine, you can bring the hands a little lower if you like to. You don't have to, there's no obligation. And breathing into the sides of the body, the whole of the rib cage, the back, the chest. The head can gently turn from side to side if that feels good to do with your neck. And when you're ready, you can walk your hands up, look at your seat, and then walk your feet in to stand tall. Very good. So it would be really nice to be able to do just one more thing with our balls, having prepared the body in this way. And I just want to move my seat a little bit into the center of the mat to be able to do that. So we are going to start with our bodies right up against the chair. We're going to leave the right foot forward and step the left foot backwards so that we can find warrior one. So we've got the left toes pointing ever so slightly out to the left leg stays long and the right knee is bent. And then we're not going to square our chest in any way. We're just going to let the chest fall wherever it might fall. In my case, it's ever so slightly diagonally forward rather than all the way forward. Right hand stays on the seat and the left hand has got this ball in it. So we're going to start by pressing into the feet, that bent front knee, and then lifting the body so that we're tall and the belly muscles are engaged. And we're going to reach the ball around the body. And when it comes down, we're going to press it to wherever we can get it to. So it might be pressed into the side of the body. It might be pressed into the buttock. It might be that we can lean back slightly and press it into the thigh. Doesn't matter where, as long as it's one of these places on the left side of the body. Want to keep the right knee bent at the same time, left leg working, and then we're going to release the press to come all the way back to the center. There's nice arcing motion. The legs stay very much engaged, pressing the big toe joints down into the floor. Looking to the left as you turn to the left, looking to the front as you turn back to the front. Let's do 2 more like that. Just pressing gently into the ball so you slightly flatten it. And then back to the center. All the way up and over. That slight lean, slight press, and then back to the center. Here in the center, we can gently square the left leg and step the right foot back and take that downward facing dog variation. You can keep holding your ball. You can put your ball down if you prefer. But just taking a moment to do this before we come forward and step the left foot forward. So if you need to, you can step into the chair and work your way backwards. That's fine. Swap the ball into the opposite hand. The right toes are pointing ever so slightly out to the right, and you'll feel that your torso is perhaps slightly turned to the right as well. We want the front knee to be bent. We're really pressing into that back leg, and we're going to reach the right hand forward as we stand upright, and then the ball comes all the way up and over as we sweep our arm over, and you can press into the back of the waist or the buttock, or if you want to lean slightly, the back of your right thigh. And then all the way back to the center. Belly muscles working strongly. We're pressing into both feet, both big toe joints pressing into the floor, leaning back to press the ball into the body as well. So we're really active in that shoulder too. And then we're coming back to the center. 2 more like this, reaching up and over, that gentle lean backwards perhaps, upright if you prefer, and turning back to center. Last one, reaching all the way up and over. Beautiful work. Really strong for the legs as well. As we come to the center this time, we're just going to soften the knees so we can lightly step the left foot back to meet the right, and then make any motions that feel good. So it could be lengthening one leg and then the other. It could be swaying the hips from side to side. It could be looking under one arm and then the other, or a combination of all of these or any movement that feels good to you. When you're ready, you can walk your feet forward so you're up to standing. And then in standing, take a moment to make sure as you arrive here, it feels good. When it feels good, you can relax the arms down, give yourself a little wiggle, dancing shoulders, dancing hips, and hopefully it feels amazing. So we're going to work our way back down to the chair for relaxation. So if you want to get rid of your bits of equipment, you can put them to one side. If you'd like to gather a blanket or a block for relaxation, then you can do that too. So before we get into our blankets, I'd like to just do a nice hanging forward bend, which gives us just a little bit more release than a different kind of release than the downward facing dog variety. So sitting in your chair, we're going to leave the feet nice and wide. Make sure you've got lots of your bottom and perhaps the tops of the legs on the chair as well. Sitting tall, we're going to glide the hands forward and down towards the ankles as we lean forward over our legs. There's lots of space between the legs for our body to go. The back of the neck can relax. And we can just breathe deeply here. Or if you prefer to be more upright, rest your forearms on your thighs or towards your knees and just be a little bit more upright so you've got that sense of forward bending, but you haven't gone all the way down. Taking a few deeper breaths. And then when you're ready, you can glide your hands to your knees, press into the hands to lever the body up to an upright position. Fantastic stuff. And then, and then we definitely need our blankets to be nice and cozy for relaxation. Wrap around in whatever way feels good to you. And we can settle ourselves back into our seats. At this stage, we just want to allow the back of the body to feel like it can switch off. Not maybe completely, but we've been really active with our bodies today. So we want to feel like the back of the shoulders are relaxing down. We might like to wrap the arms right over left, just to hold onto the shoulders for a minute, maybe the chin towards the chest. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Feel that space between the shoulder blades. Feel the breath moving through the whole of the rib cage. And then taking the arms wide, just giving yourself a moment to look up. We'll cross the left arm over the right arm this time. Head back to a more neutral spot. Let the weight of the arms be heavy on the chest. Maybe draw the chin gently slightly down. Deep breaths. Feel that space between the shoulder blades. All through the upper back as we breathe deeply into the torso, the rib cage. And then gently relaxing your arms down to your side. Make any movements that feel good, perhaps a gentle turn of the head or figure of eights with the nose, if that feels good to you. I like to do a few of those in each direction. When you're ready, you can center yourself. Allow the effort of your practice to dissipate and bring your body to stillness. Take a long, deep breath in and sigh gently as you exhale. We're going to repeat that 3 more times. A long, deep breath in. Let all of your effort go. A long, deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. One more long, deep breath in. And surrender back and down. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness through the body, allowing the whole body to feel heavy, warm and supported. Feel your forehead soften, the area between the eyebrows separating, opening, spreading. Feel the area around your eyes releasing. Your mouth, tongue, and jaw relaxing. Feel the body becoming heavier. Feel the body still. The only thing moving is the breath. Become aware of the space at the front of your chest, your heart center. And imagine your breath moving in and out of the body through your heart, through the center of the chest. With each breath in, feel that coolness flutter at the center of the chest. With each breath out, feel a warmth spreading through the center of the chest. Feel the cool sensation of inhaling and the warm sensation of exhaling. As you allow your breath to move in this way, perhaps allowing the breath to get a little slower and deeper. As your breath slows, that cool sensation can spread to more parts of the body. And the warm sensation of exhaling, allowing a sense of letting go to leave behind nurtured parts of the body. Keep letting the breath move in this way. Your relaxation deepening with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet by moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling your wrists and your ankles. When you feel ready, you can take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe stretch the arms and legs. Maybe stretch the face in a yawn. Maybe lengthen one side and then the other. When you feel ready, you can gather yourself back to center. And here we're going to finish by placing the hands either one on top of the other at the heart center or palms together at the heart center, and bowing our chin gently down. Today, bring to mind somebody who perhaps needs a little bit of extra TLC, a little bit of extra love. Hold this person in your heart, in your thoughts, and surround them with your kindness, compassion, your nurture, and your love. Treat this person with patience and tolerance. Perhaps later today, you might reach out to this person with a message or a letter or a phone call. Perhaps there's someone who you're not able to communicate with, but you can simply think of. Give yourself a gentle smile. And then when you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes. Thank you so much for joining this practice with me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Look forward to doing more with our stretchy band over the next few weeks, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.